How secure do you think your passwords really are? It's a question we often overlook, isn't it? We like to believe that our passwords, those intricate combinations of letters, numbers, and symbols, are like impenetrable fortresses safeguarding our digital lives. But the truth is, they might not be as secure as you think. In the vast, interconnected realm of the internet, password security is more important than ever. Your passwords are the keys to your online identity, your personal information, your financial data. Yet so many of us still underestimate their significance and overestimate their invulnerability. You see, there's a common misconception that passwords are uncrackable, that they're beyond the reach of hackers. But with the right tools and techniques, password extraction and cracking is not only possible, but also alarmingly common. But how easy is it to crack your password? Let's delve into that. Password extraction might sound like something out of a spy movie, but it's more prevalent than you think. So what exactly is password extraction? Simply put, it's the process of getting hold of someone else's password. It's a bit like picking a lock, but in the digital world. And just as with lockpicking, there are many ways to go about it. One of the most common methods is keylogging. This involves using a piece of software or hardware that records every keystroke on a computer. Imagine a tiny, invisible spy lurking in the shadows, noting down every letter, number, and symbol you type. That's a keylogger for you. And yes, they're as creepy as they sound. Then there's phishing. Not the kind with a rod and reel, but the kind where someone tries to trick you into giving up your password. It could be a fake email that looks like it's from your bank, or a website that's a carbon copy of your social media login page. The bait is often a sense of urgency, a problem with your account that needs your immediate attention. And before you know it, you've handed over your password to a stranger. Lastly, let's talk about exploiting unsecured networks. You know those free Wi-Fi spots in cafes, libraries, and airports? They're a goldmine for password extractors. Without proper security measures, the data you send over such networks can be intercepted and read by anyone with the right tools. That includes your passwords. The same goes for unsecured websites. If a website isn't encrypted, meaning it doesn't start with HTTPS, the information you send to it can be read by anyone who knows how to listen in. In a nutshell, password extraction is all about exploiting vulnerabilities in software, in networks, and in people. It's a reminder that we need to be vigilant, to think before we click, and to always prioritize our digital security. Now that we've extracted the password, what's next? It's time for some password cracking. Cracking a password isn't about a lucky guess, it's a calculated process. Let's dive right into it. There are a few common techniques hackers use to crack passwords, and they're not as complex as you might think. First off, we have brute force attacks. These are exactly what they sound like. A brute force attack is a trial and error method where the attacker systematically tries all possible combinations of passwords until the correct one is found. Think of it like trying every single key on a massive keychain until you find the one that opens the door. It's not subtle, but given enough time, it can be effective. Next up, we have dictionary attacks. These don't involve throwing a Webster's dictionary at your computer, although that might be entertaining. No, a dictionary attack involves the hacker trying a predetermined list of common words or phrases that people often use as passwords. It's surprising how often password 123 or QWERTY can get you into someone's account. Last but not least, we have rainbow tables. Now, this isn't a magical table with a pot of gold at the end. A rainbow table is a pre-computed table of hash values for possible passwords. In simpler terms, it's a cheat sheet that hackers can use to reverse engineer a password. It's a bit more sophisticated, but it can drastically cut down the time it takes to crack a password. These techniques are effective because, well, we're predictable. We like things that are easy to remember, which often means our passwords aren't as secure as they could be. And even when we think we're being clever, chances are someone else has thought of that same clever password too. So we've extracted and cracked a password. But what does this all mean for your online security? With password extraction and cracking demystified, you might be wondering how to protect your passwords. Let's revisit what we've learned and find ways to safeguard our cyber selves. We've explored the illusion of secure passwords, discussed how hackers extract them, and pulled back the curtain on the techniques they use to crack them. While it might seem daunting, it's important to remember that the purpose of our journey has been to empower you with knowledge, not to instill fear. The key takeaway here is that password security is not to be taken lightly. Passwords are like the keys to your online home. If they fall into the wrong hands, the consequences can be disastrous. Therefore, it's crucial to ensure that your passwords are strong and unique. So, what makes a password strong? It's a combination of length, complexity, and unpredictability. Your password should be long, preferably 12 characters or more. They should include a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. And most importantly, they should not be predictable. Avoid using personal information like your name, birthday, or common words that can be easily guessed. But even the strongest password can be vulnerable if it's used across multiple accounts. That's why it's equally important to have unique passwords for each of your online accounts. This can seem like a daunting task, but it's where a password manager can come to your rescue. Password managers not only store your passwords securely, but also generate strong, unique passwords for you. Another layer of security you can add is two-factor authentication. This involves something you know, your password, and something you have, like your phone. Even if a hacker manages to crack your password, they would still need access to your phone to break into your account. Remember, your password is your first line of defense in cyberspace. Make it count.